What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall markets. I'm going to break down some big tests that are going on right now for the markets that you should be watching for as time progresses. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. And the offer ends very soon in just about 1 week from now. Anyways, for Tesla, we've been dipping quite a bit over the last couple of hours, and we're currently trying to base at this 215 area. So Tesla's actually showing some signs it wants to base. That's not surprising considering it's down about 11% as of right now. However, SPY and other tickers are testing some key support levels I want to talk about very, very briefly. But just note that right now, okay, we're seeing a lot of headlines coming out about how Tesla is said to be changing the world in 5 ways next year. Many people are calling Elon Musk an overpromiser. They don't really agree with the claims that he's making. I personally want to say this. Elon Musk is not always perfect when it comes to estimating dates, but I do agree with him on the fact that Tesla will change the world when it comes to their technologies, robotaxi and such. So simply kind of like dismissing his claims by saying that he's an over promiser doesn't really make sense. I'm seeing a lot of headlines saying that. There's a lot of criticism, a lot of bad news coming out for Tesla as well. One thing worth noting is that they have the Tesla semis, which are once again very, very huge. They're on track to begin even higher sums of production for the end of 2025. The Roadster is going to be a big winner for Tesla as well, in my personal opinion. We can't wait to see production as well for next year. Unsupervised FSD is going to once again improve as well. So we can't really dismiss any of these claims until we get more confirmation. I want to wait and see what happens during the Robotaxi event. And then we also have other factors like not just FSD and Robotaxi, but also Optimus. I can't wait to see what Tesla does with that. So I wouldn't necessarily dismiss everything that Musk is saying. I do want to note that his dates are not always perfect, but there's still a lot of progress being made and still continuing to, keep people very optimistic. I'm optimistic as well. Tesla's going to absolutely crush it. I can't wait to see what the future holds. I'm not going to simply dismiss Musk's claims because of his history of not estimating every date properly. Musk has done a lot of great things working for Tesla. You can't dismiss all the things that they have achieved, so it doesn't really make sense to make that argument. On top of this, there is something that's not so good about Tesla. That's the fact that their profit margins are once again decreasing. It's the worst in 5 years as the price cuts and incentives are weighing in. Headlines are now kind of screaming about this. This is part of why Tesla's dipping. We're starting to see that their gross margins are about 14.6%, which is below analyst estimations of about 16.3%. Despite that, it's very important to note that other factors such as the elections may affect subsidies, not to mention tariffs, and there's a lot of uncertainty involving Tesla in those regards. That's part of why Tesla's down quite a bit, but the media is screaming about the profit margins, and that's what a lot of investors are actually looking at. Seeing this, it's quite negative news for Tesla. Uh, Despite that, Tesla is now currently trying to base at this 215 area. We look kind of bearish on the daily time frame, but if I pull up like the 5 minute time frame, you guys could see Tesla has dipped quite a bit, and now it's trying to base around 215. It's trying to find a bottom right over here, this 215 zone. The resistance currently around 219. Also, it tried to push a little higher for about 222, only to come back down. So it's still technically on a downtrend. It's still downtrending if you look at it like this. There's no sign that's getting a massive bounce or trying to reverse quite yet. It still is bearish as the whole market is dipping due to uncertainty about global events as well. However, just note that despite this happening, Tesla has not lost the key support yet. We'll have to see if we could try to hold 215. And if we fail to hold it, I'll be looking at basically 212. And then that's going to be our next major support at our 4-hour 200 EMA. So we'll see if 212 to 215 hold. There's no sign of a big bounce yet. Tesla's still shuffling, but the chart is still looking more bearish. Now, I am concerned about SPY. SPY is dumped really hard, guys, and we're barely holding our 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. That's just under the 542 area. If we lose this, I'll be looking at 540. That's where we also have some support. And if that fails us, we have a big gap to go all the way down to 536. So we'll have to see if we end up coming down to 536. If we lose 540, so watch and see 542 if that holds or not. But so far, SPY is looking very weak. We have to be very careful heading into tomorrow. And we'll see if 542 gets some defenders or not. This is a very, very big looking red bar. So we will see how things go. Typically, these lead to more selling. So be very, very mindful of that. We are still looking more bearish, but we'll have to see if 542 and 540 hold. For Nvda, This has a slanted head and shoulders like structure. Been tipping all the way down. We lost 118. Our targets over here at support at 115. If that fails on Nvidia, we could be dipping even lower. We have previous resistance becoming support at 115. If that breaks, we have a gap to fill down here towards 110. Right now, it's looking more bearish, but watch and see if we could hold 115 or not. Be careful, guys. We're barely holding support on Nvidia. If it turns back up, you want to see it break past 118. Hasn't done so yet, so just be careful. Bitcoin is starting to follow the trend. Look at support around 65,518. If that breaks, we dip all the way down to our imbalances. So we look a little bit more bearish to me. I do see risk of us dipping lower. So watch and see if that ends up being the case. For the QQQ is dumping right now, down 3.4%. Very, very big red day. Watch supports around this 462 area and 464. If we lose 464, I'll be looking at 462. And if that breaks, we're easily going to be coming all the way down towards the 450s. So it's looking more bearish. It's barely holding up. So just be very, very careful with the QQQ. There is, in my opinion, a big risk of downside. So we'll just have to see how things go from here. Just let it to be known that this is what's also leading the sell-off. Tech is slowing down, and the QQQ remains bearish. There's no sign of a bounce yet, and we could continue to fall to about 462, then eventually 460. So just be mindful of that. For Aapl, we're also selling off, but it's trying to base at 218. If we lose that 218 area, we could be dipping all the way down towards 214. If we hold 218, look for 220. As of right now, we do look a bit more bearish, but it's been trying to base at 218. So we'll see if we could hold the support or not. That's going to be key for Aapl. The trend is bearish, but 218 is a critical support is trying to hold up. For the IWM, we're basically watching 219. If we continue to fall, we'll be looking at 217.5. And to be bullish, you want to see it break past 220. This is favoring downside just a little bit more. So I'll be watching to see if we could try to get back above 220, but it is favoring a little bit more downside. Coinbase is looking more bearish. Make sure you watch 243.5 as support. If we lose that, this imbalance will take us down to 236. There's a little bit of weakness on coin, and I do favor downside, so just be mindful of that. For Amazon, we're on a bit of a downtrend right over here. If we lose 181, well, the problem with Amazon is we have a big head and shoulders now. This favors downside, especially if we end up losing this 180 area. If that breaks, we could be dipping all the way down to 174. So just be careful, be very mindful of that. Meta is rejecting, it rejects off its key EMAs, is continuing to fall. We could be looking for a move all the way down towards the 450s. So I'll be looking at this support right here at 455 at 460 breaks. It also looks more bearish. Microsoft, it's going to be looking at support around 425 if 428 breaks. And if that breaks, 420 is coming. Look at 428. If that fails, look at 425, 420, and lower levels like that. Google is collapsing. We're currently at 173. If we don't rebound here, so this is where we have our support 173.5. If that breaks, we're going all the way down to 171. So it's looking more bearish to me. The bears are still in control. The market is still dipping. It is what it is, guys. SPY is struggling to hold up. So for Tesla, the chart remains bearish. There's no true sign of a big bounce yet. I know people were saying that it was going to bounce. I said, no, there's no sign yet. There's no confirmation of it truly bouncing yet. Could it bounce tomorrow? It's possible, but I need to see how it ends up reacting to 215 to 212 again. It is still dipping, so we might dip a little bit more for Tesla, and we'll have to see if we can try to base. The reason why it's not dipping as hard is because it already is down 11%. So expecting more from there is like a bit of a stretch. So give Tesla some time. Do what you have to do, guys. Know the market is still continuing to fall. So we'll give it some time and see how things go. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you guys so much for listening, and peace out.